What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another Tottenham update going into the last 24 hours of Tottenham news. And it's never a dull day at Tottenham Hotspur. And in the absence of Sim, who's enjoying the festivities up in Scotland right now, we have got Brian Daigle. How are you, my bro?
I am good, brother. I am good. I'm delighted to be back on the channel and doing an update with you. I hope everyone is good.
Let's get straight into it. And we're going to talk about Mickey van de Ven because we heard Ange in the press conference talking about he suffered a recurrence of the injury. Paul O'Keefe last night said that they're waiting to confirm the definitive timeline, but they're hearing a reoccurrence of the injury and maybe 2 to 3 weeks out for Mickey van de Ven. So that's Mickey out for the next 2-3 weeks. Ben Davis, we don't know when he's going to return. Cuti Romero out for around 6 weeks, which leaves us with one fit centre-back at the club. We're going to talk about options in a minute, but what's your reaction on the Mickey news?
It's really excuse me. It's really not good, is it? I mean, I think if I remember correctly, he wasn't even in the starting lineup at Chelsea when it first came out, and then it changed, and he was in it.
I think he was.
Over here in Canada when it came out, it was Dragostin and Romero. Then it got updated here. Maybe it was the Canadian channels pick up, and it was their error. But I always thought with a hamstring injury, you bring it back gradually. Like you bring him on with 20 minutes, 30 minutes, warm him up. You don't just throw him in to a game, especially with a Romero coming back. But you look at it as well, with him doing this, and was damned if he does and damned if he doesn't with this, wasn't he? If he didn't start him, he was on the bench and we lost, it was why didn't you start him? And if we did start him and this happened, it's why did you start him?
The thing is, though, like Brian, he said after the game, Romero was completely fine. And Romero obviously didn't have a recurrence of the injury, so you can't really blame Ange too much, or the medical team, or whatever you want to say. You can't really blame anyone too much for Romero playing. But he did say Van de Ven, he was a bit worried about Van de Ven, and he was only planning to play him for 60, 70 minutes, whatever it may be. He did end up playing longer than maybe Ange expected or Ange wanted. But if he's any sort of doubt, any sort of risk, I think it's madness, absolute madness to play him.
Yep. I mean, the thing I'll say, I mean, bringing two players back, there should have been Dragostin and Romero's what should say not, and then brought back, in my opinion, anyway. It's just not good. I mean, it looks like when Michael Owen had it at Liverpool, with players who rely on their pace so heavily or have pace as their main asset, the hamstring is one of the injuries that once they start getting them, it can keep reoccurring. And the way we play with this high line, which is the best way to get Mickey's utilize his pace is destroying it, isn't it? He just can't. He's picking up these hamstrings. What's this? His third, or is this his fourth one? Third one that he's had, and fourth recurring. Let's say.
Yeah.
So that's what, in a year and a half, and he is a key part of our squad and our defence. It's not good, is it?
So how? I mean, there's no real options. I was about to ask you, how do we manoeuvre this period from now until January? I mean, it's got to be Archie Gray and Dragostin at the back. And can you imagine if one of them get an injury?
Well, I think I sent you a voice note. Yes, I said if let's just say Dragostin picked up an injury, Porro will be right back. Our midfielder that we bought to play in midfield, who's played right back, will be a centre back in Gray. Then, like when I was speaking to you, then we'd probably, like you said, have to move our left back into centre back as in Destiny to help for a bit of steel and whatever. And then our left back will be the right back that we gave a new contract to, but we don't trust to play at right back. We play a centre back in his place. That's the options. That's
happy days.
It's just craziness, isn't it? I mean, people were saying at the start that, or when the window closed, who goes into a season with 3 fit centre backs or recognised centre backs. Well, now we're down to 1 at the busiest time of the season. It's just only at Tottenham, mate. Only at Tottenham.
There's actually just been an update from Dan Kilpatrick, and he said Archie Gray is expected to partner Radu Dragostin tonight, but Alfie Dorrington has also travelled with the squad, which is a positive. It'll be great to see him maybe get a chance. I know he's only played under 21 football, but he's supposed to be highly thought of.
He is highly thought of, but from what I heard, since he's come back from the big injury he got at the end of last season, they've been monitoring his progress and hoping he gets to the levels he was. He's not got there yet, but obviously he is a very big prospect. The problem is we're here now, aren't we, where big games are coming up, monster games in all competitions at a very peak time. And we're here now we're talking about an Alfie Dorrington, and I'm sure we're going to talk about a certain other centre-back that's not with us now. But that, I mean, it's not right, is it? It's not right to say, like, at Christmas time, you're looking at a youth guy who hasn't had a Premiership minute and someone who's been on loan to spearhead your defence in the Premier League.
Yeah. And we all said coming into the summer window last year, we need another centre-back. We need a left centre-back that could potentially also play left-back. And that is the area which we're struggling in at the moment. We're asking Destiny Udogie to play every game pretty much. Pedro Porro to play every game. Spence can't play in the European schedule, and he doesn't even want to play him in the league anyway. So, I mean, these injuries now are just putting so much strain on the squad, aren't they?
Yeah, and you look at it, the main thing you want to do, and one of the biggest things at this time of the year, for all teams, not just Tottenham, is squad rotation. That's the way you get round injuries and tiredness and everything, because this is a huge demand on their bodies this time of year, and we can't do it.
Yeah.
So the back four is pretty much cemented, isn't it? As it speaks right now, unless an injury picks up, it's like you're playing every game.
Every game from now until the end of December, at least.
Yeah. Good times.
Dan Kilpatrick also said that Tottenham are undertaking a second review of their medical department in less than a year following the latest injury pile-up, which follows on the injury pile-up that we had around this time last year as well, which follows on from Conte calling out the injury to the medical team, which followed on Jose Mourinho calling out the medical team. I mean, how long does it take to get a new medical team at this football club? I mean, these things have been going on for way too long.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the fans that have been calling for this bit and seeing it, but also I think with Spurs bringing this, I'm just wondering when they pulled their cracker if they got a mini pack of cards or a mini sewing kit, because this is a goddamn joke. Because with everything that's going on, only now you're deciding, right, we need to have a second. I can't even remember when the first one was, Ben, but it
was around this time last year.
And no, there'll be nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. We'll just carry on. Surely, I mean, if this was your GP or a surgeon at a hospital, you wouldn't be seeing this doctor anymore.
No,
you simply wouldn't. If you got look at the way these injuries are coming, do these players think, yeah, these are the medical professionals that they know what they're doing? You highlighted it perfectly. Jose called this out, and we all got to see it. We all got to see it. It's not even. We saw it in the documentary. There is an issue with our medical team, and I look forward to seeing the lack of action that happens once Spurs finish their review.
There's got to be some action, man. It's just ridiculous. Every single year this happens to us. And I get it, there's a lot of football this season and other teams are also struggling with injuries. But we're the ones that seem to be consistently year upon year upon year that struggle with probably more injuries than anyone else.
Well, remember last year when they did this, as you said, this is when we're playing one game a week.
Yeah.
Well, now we're playing 2 games a week minimum, and it's crumbled. It's not right. It's not good. Hopefully, they can get to the bottom of this, because it's not even just. It's been key players at key times, hasn't it? It's not been, this one's there. Okay, that's what we got this good cover. Just look at Odebear. Odebear played a lot for Burnley last season. He's played, 2.5 games for us?
You look at Richarlison.
2 minutes.
Richarlison.
Yeah.
Richarlison never had injury problems before he joined Spurs. Now we can't keep him fit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we're going to talk about a player that has suffered a lot because of this the most, I don't think you can look further than Richard. I think he's top of the list, isn't he?
Must
a player that he got injured passing the ball for a goal last time, didn't he? After coming back 2 games, 2 games after coming back, it was a fantastic pass. But he just picks up these knocks. He comes back from training. They've overworked him, and he picks up another reoccur. It's a mess. But yeah, Richarlison is the highlight, isn't it? Of if you're going to look at the exhibit A, so to speak.
Yeah. Let's talk about Ashley Phillips then, because Dan Kilpatrick says that Tottenham are considering recalling Ashley Phillips on loan from a loan at Stoke City. Spurs have a recall clause in Phillips's season-long loan deal, which can be triggered at the start of January. and you look at it, I think it's a no-brainer. I think you have to do it at this moment in time with the injuries that are piling up. I know you're going to have a few defenders coming back in January, but Romero's probably won't be till the latter stages of January. Van der Ven, always hit and miss in terms of if he pulls another hamstring or not.
Yep.
Ben Davis, we don't know when he's coming back, so this has got to be done, surely.
I think it has to. I am a fan of Ashley Phillips. I think I think he really is going to the very, very top. What I get worried about is if we do bring him back and we just shove him in and say, right, off you go. You play for Stoke and Plymouth now go. He is a very, very good player. And I put a tweet out when we signed him saying the year is 2028 and Spurs are being led out by Ashley Phillips as captain. That's I think he has all the hallmarks to be a Spurs captain, but whether we'll play him. I mean, the one good thing I think if he does come back is it means we might see Archie Gray in midfield, and should we need a defender, he will go there. But I'm kind of, do we bring him back and will he get a chance? Is he there just to make the numbers, and will that derail his progression and his development? But as it stands right now, for me, I'm with you. It's a complete no-brainer. He has to come back.
And he's had his injury problems this season himself, Ashley Phillips. But since he's come back, he's actually had a really tough season. He's had to fight his way into that Stoke team, and he's done that over recent weeks. Apparently, he's been an absolute standout performer in the last month of Stoke. So, yeah, look, it's different playing for Stoke, obviously, to play with Tottenham Hotspur in terms of the system and the high line. And the one big question mark about Ashley Phillips has always been his ability on the ball. And does that get highlighted in the Stoke system or not? Look, I don't know. I don't really watch Stoke week in, week out, but I know they prize themselves on a defensive style of football. But look, I just think we need him for numbers. We just need him desperately at this point in time.
And also, one thing he would be as well is a very big physical presence in the box. It's one thing he will certainly bring that we need. Stoke fans seem to love him. I've seen a couple of tweets from Stoke fans that say rule number 1, never fall in love with a lone player. And then Ashley Phillips with the red and white hearts. And Plymouth loved him, didn't they? Plymouth, I mean, again, both championship level, but he is one, I can't even say these words, one for the future. That I think will come very, very, very good. And if he comes back, I just hope he gets the minutes and just doesn't sit on the bench for the rest of the season.
Last but not least, we're going to talk about Richarlison. Dario AS say that Richarlison continues to reject inquiries from the Saudi Pro League. As of right now, he's not looking to leave Tottenham. His ultimate goal is to put his injury struggles behind him and return to Brazil national team ahead of the 2026 World Cup. And there's literally just been an update here from TNT Sport Brazil that says Richarlison doesn't want to leave Spurs in January, in large part because he is going to soon become a father. The Brazilian side Fluminense wanted to sign Richarlison on loan next month, but Spurs have no intention to loan out the player anyway. So it looks like Richarlison is going to be here. But with the injury problems that he's having, just can't seem to get him on a pitch for the last 3 years for any consistent basis. When we did actually last year get him on the pitch consistently, he actually went on a big scoring run, didn't he? And was providing value for the team. But when you're looking at the options available right now, and if it is a possibility to get someone like Jonathan David on a Bosman on a free transfer, surely it's a no-brainer that. But it's about trying to get Richarlison out the door, and it just seems like he doesn't want to leave.
Would you want to leave? Honestly, he's the money he's on. First of all, congratulations on the announcement of becoming a father or about to become a father. I don't know if he's got any kids already. This is one thing that Spurs shouldn't be up. If we should be finding a way to get him on loan. If they want him on loan back in Brazil, Fluminense, you said, didn't you?
Yeah.
If he's interested, get him off the wage bill or partially and invest in a striker that you can know that will be fitter and ready to play more than him, because we can't just keep chucking it on Will Lancashire, who doesn't get minutes. And Dominic Solanke is just exhausted, will be exhausted with all this game time. We need a striker. We've got to become a club that's like, Richarlison, you may want to stay, but listen, we can't rely on you. We cannot physically at the moment trust you to stay fit for no fault of your own or whatever's going on. And we need someone to cover Dominic.
The
We've got
reality
to.
is, though, he's got a contract till 2027, and you can't force someone out of the club, can you?
No, but if we get if what I'm saying, if a loan deal comes up, if Spurs are saying we've got no interest in loaning him, then you're like, well, then you're keeping him here and paying him, which is his squad space, which could be from another player that can play regular football, maybe can help Dominic and Dominic Solanke and Lancashire. And there will be a third striker and a third option, and then you don't need to keep moving Son over. Maybe the loan is the way we need to go, but this is the man up top doing what the man on top does. And who cares about the playing side of things?
I'll just build another hotel.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what the hell? This is where fans could be rightfully annoyed, because he is, like you said, Richarlison, when he had that patch, is great. He could be a real quality addition, get the goals, be a brilliant presser, actually work great for the team, brilliant. But you don't keep him fit. You don't get him on the pitch. So if he's not on the pitch here, why could he not be on the pitch somewhere else? And we bring someone in that can get on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. But look, that is all I have for the update today. Brian, thank you so much for coming on.
Pleasure,
and,
brother.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.